Podcast City Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Let's get it on!
Come into the ring, step into the fire, see what you want, baby. If your heart has desire, get out, get knocked down. Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Deathmatch Russell Podcast.
And good evening, everyone. You're listening to another episode of the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. My guest at this time, the evil one, professional manager of champions, Mr. Ripper Blackheart. How are you? How's that?
Good enough. Hey, we finally got it figured out. It took a minute or two or
yes,
12, we got it figured out.
We are live. This is like, I know how Everett does it is a different system, but that's altogether. He uses a high-tech system. This is a child's program right here.
Yeah, we're underground. This is outlaw.
Yeah, that's it. The outlaws rule.
That's right. Makes you more badass.
So, man, Mr. Ripper, this has been a long time coming. I've been wanting to get you on because we always go behind the scenes ripping each other behind a certain Everett Lee podcast.
Yep.
You're
You're always there. You're like, it doesn't matter whenever it's on. There, boom. He's like, oh, Russell chimes in. I'm like, he's just lying.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of lag. That's okay. Don't worry about that. See that? Lag is lag. But anyway, go ahead, as you were saying.
Yeah, the internet, baby.
Internet. It's what
I
the hell
is sticks, so it could be in too.
You got it in though. Hey, you got a connection. That's the least that counts. But what's going on with you? How you doing tonight? Pretty good?
I'm doing pretty good. I got a pretty big weekend coming up Friday. Origins got pushed back.
Yes, I saw that. Oh.
Mother Nature just
exploded.
Destroyed us.
Yeah.
So that's this Friday. It's the big 4-year anniversary for Future Great Wrestling in Hamilton, Ohio. I have a couple. My guy Ryan Michaels is taking on Cody Hawk. It's a very big match. It's 4 years in the making.
Mr. Cody Hawk. Oh, we know that name really well. Just a legend in the business. He's just been around.
He's a trainer of champions. I mean, look at his pedigree. He John Moxley trained him. Sandy Callahan trained him. L.A. Knight trained him. Plus slew of guys all over the Indies. Drew Skills.
I know.
I could go on and on and on.
I know. There's so many guys.
Most of the FGW roster, my son included.
Yes.
My son is also a.
Yeah, Everett just told me that. Everett told me on the side. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So.
And then Logan Blackheart, my son, and Big Man Bun. Logan's pretty much told him he's showing up Friday night. He expects the general manager William Wolf or owner Brian Levick to insert them into the tag team championship match that's going on between the Crown and the defending champions, the Roach. So,
and they will be on the podcast in March. We got something worked out for them. How's that?
Which ones was that? Was that
Logan and Bun?
Logan and Bun, yeah. And collectively, we are the Blackheart Foundation. And then, next weekend, I got 4 wrestling in Lima. Blood in, blood out.
Mm-hmm.
And my clients there, the Wise Guys, the tag team champions. We have to defend against Damian Chambers and Crash Jackson, which, they've only been teaming in War and FGW really for a couple months. And here they are, they're getting a tag team title shot. I mean, I don't know the logic behind it. It doesn't really matter.
No.
There's 3 of us. They have no idea what combination of the wise guys they're going to see. It could be Big Man Bun. It could be Gino DiCapo. It could be Tommy Irish. And any combination of those 2, they're going to have to try to figure that out, and they won't know until the day of. So I'm fairly confident we're coming out with the titles in that one too.
Yeah, there's a lot of title. I'll tell you what, man. It's title season. You know, it's like I was talking to my 2 guys. You probably heard what my guys last night that I had on a podcast. PJ Savage and Ransom, my local guys. They were hungry, man. Then they, it's strive to get that gold. It's just to, you want to get that gold around your waist and keep on knocking down opponents after opponent. Just keep on going down the line.
Well, if you're not trying to be a champion, then what are you doing here?
Right.
That's I mean, that's the whole goal. Is to be a champion.
Yeah, and you look back, and then you realize that championships, are meant to be held for a long time. And you look at the list of people who have, in the past, like original tag teams, the 4 Horsemen, or just all the teams that you would know in the game that really showed what the tag team division was back then as well.
Especially you want to see a great tag team division. Go back to the 80s and watch NWA Crockett Promotions that they used to be on TBS. I mean, you had the Rock and Roll Express, you had the Midnight Express, you had the Road Warriors, you had any combination of the 4 Horsemen.
The Von Erichs. I know.
Freebirds would show up every once in a while. You had the Russians. You had the Volkovs, Nikita, Ivan, and then later it was Dusty and Nikita together. You had Dusty and Magnum TA. You had the Lightning Express was there for a while. Brad Armstrong. I talk about this a lot.
Yeah,
hands down one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time. And if you don't believe me, there was a match. I believe it was still on NWA then. They weren't WCW yet. Main event. It used to be on Sundays on TBS. And that's where they just took matches from all the shows when they traveled. And they would show you different matches from these shows. Well, one of the matches, it's Brad Armstrong versus Ric Flair. And it's for the world title.
Right.
Now, I mean, even then, you're not completely stupid. They're not going to let Brad Armstrong beat Ric Flair and be the world champion. No. But there are several times in that match that they make you think, well, maybe. I mean, he hung with Flair. He went toe-to-toe with him. And that's when I got a whole new respect for Brad Armstrong, was after I watched that match. I'm pretty sure I want to say I was in high school by that point when I saw that match. Because Brad Armstrong, he was always one of the mid-carders. Him and Tim Horton, the Lightning Express, and then they had Brad Armstrong over the years do some terrible stuff like the Candyman and stuff like that. But he had
But then you fast forward to the WCW era, and you see you see the Steiner brothers.
Yeah, then the Steiners show up and
Sting and
Sting and Luger were tagging then. I mean, the Freebirds were very prominent at that time back in WCW. Of course, first time I saw Freebirds was World Class and UWF, and then UWF, and then they were in AWA for a little bit. They's in the AWA. They's actually feuding with the Road Warriors and feuding with Greg Gagne and Jumping Jim Bronzell.
Oh man, Bronzell, that's like a name we know from the past WWF days. Like those this was before he was part of the Killer Bees. Killer Bees,
Early 80s. I mean, AWA on ESPN, at midnight on a Saturday night, and then it got after a while they would be on after school. I get home from school and AWA would be on ESPN. And then when AWA folded, well, it was AWA and World Class was both on ESPN. And then when They folded. We got the Global Wrestling Federation for a little bit there on ESPN, which that's the first time I saw Sean Waltman as the 1-2. Well, no, he was Lightning Kid. Sean Waltman is the Lightning Kid.
Yeah,
that was when he first went to WWF.
I'll tell you what, I got to see him as a train with Iron Mike Sharp because that was his school. Iron Mike Sharp ran a school in my town, township.
Oh yeah, Iron Mike Sharp. I see. What by the time I'm a kid watching Iron Mike Sharp's like he's like a Mick Carter.
I'll tell you what, I got to see it for $5, man. $5, Ripper. I could go watch a wrestling for $5 at the Iron Mike Sharp school. I was like, this is great. I'm seeing wrestlers coming up. Freddie Blassie would come in once in a while. WCW Malice, the Wall, aka the Wall, would wrestle there all the time. Yeah. Nova.
Yeah, that's a great thing. Great thing to go to if there's a
training school
putting on a show. You can catch a diamond in the rough. Like I said, that's Global Wrestling Federation. First time I saw Waltman, Marcus Alexander Bagwell as the Handsome Stranger. Then when he showed up WCW as Marcus, I'm like, that's the Handsome Stranger. He's from Global, So yeah, they were considered. I don't know if they'd even be considered an indie back then.
I believe I actually seen the Fantastics as well.
Now the first time I saw Fantastics was on WCW. No, UWF.
I saw them at NWF Wrestling National. Was it NWF National Wrestling Superstar or NWF
Northern Wrestling Federation?
Yes. They brought a lot of guys, and Dr. D. David Schultz was a normal guy, and my God, I was a kid. I got to see Bruiser Brody. I was like, I'm in my glory. Seeing Chief J. Strongbow Jr. or and the Samoans as off in Sika, Abdullah. But it was a school night. I missed seeing that. I had to go home. Abdullah. But no, I got to see Brody in a cage, and that was my experience. I was like, wow, it's on what do you call it? YouTube. It's crazy.
I think the first I got to tell this to Laney Poffo when I met him. The first live wrestling event I ever got to go to was in Columbus, Ohio, at the Civic Center. It was a WWF show, and they've been building it up for weeks on the syndicated TV shows that they were having a Come As You Are Battle Royal. You can wear whatever you want into this Battle Royal.
Right.
Laney Poffo came in a suit of armor. He figures he did a suit of armor, he's going to be heavier. It's going to be harder for him to throw him over the top rope with the armor. But yeah, he didn't last very long. They got him out of there. But that sticks out in my mind.
Yeah.
Like I said, I vaguely remember other stuff, but Laney Poffo showing up in a suit of armor and stuff like that in wrestling, that it's, nowadays these guys get away from so much stuff. It's I just want to get a cool gift out of this, or I want Dave Metzler to say I had a 5-star match. But everybody learns the moves, man. Everybody learns them. You got to give people a reason to give a shit about you.
And cut down on the promos. And cut the promos to a minimum. They really get a little bit too over, Oh,
yeah. You got to cut promos. You got to have a gimmick. I mean, I'm not talking you got to have a 1984 WWF gimmick where I'm supposed to believe that you're a race car driver or a
or a Hulk Hogan character that's just Mr. Muscle Guy USA, right?
But you gotta have something. Even if your gimmick is you don't have a gimmick, then work it. That's a gimmick. That's the kind of stuff that makes fans give a shit about you.
Yeah.
Cody Hawk says it best. Wrestling's about moments. It's not about matches. It's not about moves. It's about moments. Create moments. Create a good enough moment. It's going to be a memory for a fan. It's going to be them telling the story about it, like I'm talking about Laney Poffo showing up in a damn suit of armor.
And that's like you, and like you as a manager, you have to tell the story. You have to tell you. It's right. You go with your wrestler, your team.
I'm not just the guy out there yelling at the fans.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole thing. I got a whole
You
thing going.
Got to tell them their moveset, and you got to talk. Yep, people don't realize that you're saying stuff behind, but they don't know it. They don't. Some people can catch it, but some people can't.
So what's going on with David though? How's the podcast going on? How you get? Are you getting pretty up on the guest and whatnot?
Yeah, it's going busy. I'm glad. This is like a better 2020 is like, or 22 is now more of a wake up call. Like I'm getting better guests, and I'm trying to focus on myself. I used to look. You notice that I would look down on my podcast. I have to look straight. I have to look straight. Ever told me that? Look straight, David, when you're talking to somebody. It's hard though. It's hard. But no, I'm enjoying the guests I'm having on lately. I'm just going to keep on going and get more and more and more, and your guys and a lot more of your other guys, and just everybody.
I'll tell you, Logan on. It'll be Logan's. I believe be his first wrestling podcast he's ever been on.
Well, Everett will join me on that one, so we'll do a tag. We'll be a tag team podcast that night. How's that?
Maybe both sides,
or even a manager you could even join us as well.
You guys, if you guys get it all figured out, hit me up.
Yeah,
you know me.
I know.
I'll talk all day.
I know you can. I know. You guys had a good conversation about the last movie sequel and this and that, and I always try to jump in there. I got to get on one of these movie sequels. I'm so bad at that nowadays, but I got to jump in there and watch a movie. Tell my reviews of it. I'll have to do that sometime. I'll tell Everett.
Yeah, I've been watching movies and TVs and stuff like that. Been a huge part when I was growing up. My dad used to take us to the movies all the time when I was a kid. And
3D glasses, 3D glass. Yes, come on.
There'd be time where they just drop us off at the movies. My parents had something to do, and here's $10. You and your brother go to this movie. We'll be back.
Yeah, I'll load up on popcorn and soda. That's it.
And that used to be the thing. I mean, they didn't have the streaming services, and hell, they didn't have movie rentals until I was in junior high.
Yeah.
You know
what? I'll tell you what. For the first simulcast, I remember we actually, one of the local high schools ran WrestleMania 4 or 5 King Kong Money in a cage match on a big projector screen. We had they charged us $10 to go watch. Me and my dad, I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not like pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You used to have to either be at the event or go someplace that was showing it on closed circuit TV or have one of them gigantic satellite dishes in your yard. I want to say it was 87 Starcade.
Or those antennas that are in the attic, right? Or whatever.
Well, that was just for regular TV. If you wanted to get the rest of the big events, though, you had to have all that. In 1987, we used to go to Florida all the time for Thanksgiving to visit my family in Pensacola. Yeah. So back then, Starcade was on Thanksgiving night, right? So my uncle got us paid for us to go to the Pensacola Civic Center and watch Starcade 87 on a big screen, like a movie screen.
Yeah.
From closed circuit television.
Yeah. That's
the only way you could have done it unless you were there.
That was for that WrestleMania. Yeah, or that. That was crazy.
They did that for they did that for the WrestleManias and all that. Pay-per-view wasn't really a thing on cable right away. That built up over the years, and now everything's streaming. You got to have the streaming services and stuff to pick up the Fight TV.
You got to have FiOS or this and that, or whatever.
That. I tell you, the thing I'm digging now is the. Do you have the IWTV?
Top promotion, independent promote. I love study that, and it's just a great place to watch old stuff and new stuff. There's a lot of pretty cool promotion. Like there's promotions just and blown up talent that needs to be seen. It's great. It's
I'd like when Peacock bought out the network.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm not getting Peacock because they gutted the network. They gutted it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and censored it and all this other stuff. And then I came across the IWTV.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of getting Peacock and keeping the network, I bought
Fight TV, or I have Fight TV as well.
Yeah, I have Fight TV, but I went ahead and bought the IWTV, and there's a lot of cool stuff. I mean, so much cool shit on there, man. I mean,
go back and like I'm going to be actually. Was it next week? I believe it next week or the following week. I'm going to actually have a tag team that was original Jersey All Pro Wrestling tag team. They're making their rounds again on the scene. So it's pretty cool to see guys still, you know what I mean?
And now, is there one promotion that you watch on there that you're drawn than the others, or
I flip flop. There's so many good. New South is one of those promotions. It's not gonna.
I watched a couple of New South, but Southern Honor's really drawn me in more than any of them.
Beyond Wrestling, of course, as well.
Yeah, yep. Southern, and then of course AAW out of Chicago. Like Danny Daniels worked for us in Lima at War for years, and any of that newer stuff you see on there, that look like an indie promotion. And
H2O and my local promotion. I wish I got to get back to there. I used to go to Hardcore Hustle Organization. By shout out to the Bulldozer Matt Tremont, just one of the greatest. He puts all the kids in Billy Starks. Shout out to her. She's like one of the top. Like everybody's on this game. Everybody in the system. It's amazing. Alex Colon, shout out to him. He's still around doing a lot of good stuff as well. But yeah, it's really cool. It's just good to see a lot of these people getting seen. Like Keith Lee just got an appearance on AEW. I knew that was coming. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He showed up. People like that doesn't follow indies are going to get a taste of Jay White now because he's shown up. I mean, me and you's aware of him because of Ring of Honor and New Japan and all that, but what's the word I'm looking for? The casual wrestling fan has not, and casual wrestling fans, most of them were not aware of half the roster, if not more than half the roster. That's at AEW. So
yeah, and last night just think about it. They were at Atlantic City, home of WrestleMania 5, where I was as a kid. I could have gone. I could have gone, sat in that arena, but here I'm talking to you. I'm going to watch the replay tonight. I'm going to watch the replay tonight, actually, because I saw some things that caught my eye, like Jericho's breakup with the circle.
Yeah,
you see that? Yeah,
that's. I mean, as far as the mainstream goes, that's about the only one I watch now.
Yeah.
I like what
I do like watching Dark on YouTube. I do like watching the YouTube.
I watch Dark because so many of the people I work with are getting shots on Queen Amanana. Oh, how have they not signed Queen Amanana yet?
Yeah.
When first time she worked for us in Lima, I was like, me and my referee Jay Cortez were like, she's got it. She's going to be a star.
And she came to like H2O one time, and I actually was supposed to do a podcast with her, and I never did.
There was a match. There was a match over the summer. It was on Dark or Dark Elevation or whatever. Yeah. It was her versus Chris Statlander.
Yeah, Chris Statlander.
And the fans were chanting Amanada's name.
Because they know who she is.
I mean, come on.
That's good.
She was getting over. Sign her already.
Yeah.
She's there. FGW's Shauna Reed.
That's good for her. I mean, Everett talks about that, and I talk about that all the time. That's good for her because she's one of those people that can be,
Yeah, she went down. She did training class with Justin Rhodes there. She was gone several months. She was actually the winner of the first Rhodes Academy showcase that they did. So, yeah, she's been getting opportunities there. Ari Alexander was just on there this week. You can see her on FGW and several promotions.
I've had a couple guys, local guys, I dig out people off. I look on Twitter, or I'll find somebody who's in the AEW in the Nightmare Factory. Yeah. I've had Fuego del Sol's cousin on. I forget his name. Magnum something, MP3 something. But that's really cool. Like, just, and then one of my local guys, a lot of my local guys, my promotion do dark matches all the time. You know, it's cool.
Which, it's a foot in your door. I mean,
yeah.
Sometimes it pans out, sometimes it doesn't. But you know,
No.
like Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So it's more eyes on you. You should never not take.
But you look at but back to tag teams. You're looking now. Okay, Sammy Guevara and not Sammy. Now Chris Jericho and Sammy Hagar, Santino and Ortiz now have a little challenge. It's going to be interesting to see the rivalry that's going to happen now, because
I'll tell you what, over the last I wasn't completely sold on Santana Ortiz when he first brought them in the inner circle and whatnot. Over the past couple of years, especially during the pandemic, them two boys, you could tell they put work in. They put hard work in.
They're local guys from the city, New York City and stuff, and they couple promotions. Game Changer Wrestling is popular. GCW by me, was a big stepping stone for their career, and JCW, Jersey Championship, was the fellow company as well of Game Changer Wrestling, Jersey Championship. They were a part of that, and Jersey All Pro and just Beyond Wrestling. You know, they were stables. You know, they were really making their ways, and that's how they got. And then TNA, of course, LAX, Homicide, and they all clicked together. You know.
Yeah, that didn't hurt to get being there with someone with like Homicide and Kingston. I think Kingston was in there. Impact the same time they were.
But so, if you look at for guys who do good promos, Eddie Kingston can phenomenal. Him and Moxley all the time. They just knock it out of the park.
And his work, working there. I don't care. You know, he looks like this or he looks like that. The work is there. Watch his matches, and it's not just the moves and all. It's the storytelling that's going on during the match. Eddie Kingston tells great stories in that ring.
He does.
He's highly underrated. And that match the match that he had at All In or All Out there in Chicago this year. Who was it? I was there. Who was it? It was basically just them beating the hell out of each other. I knew that's what it was going to be. It was Moxley. Right. I think it might have been Moxley.
Yeah. Yeah, because they were the big thing back when it first started. AEW really came, you know.
But
it's amazing.
It's amazing. Guys, go ahead, Jay.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
A lot of them guys for years were overlooked or just considered super indie guys at AEW. So I like that they're finally getting the spotlight on them. Not only that, I like what they're doing with Dark and Dark Elevation, where they're bringing in other indie
guys,
girls,
mixing it up. They have to.
Yeah, and not just on Dynamite this past week. Katie Arquette.
I saw that, and I just saw that like on Facebook or something. I was like, "That's neat."
Yeah, and I've worked with her in OCW, Akron area,
and I believe Everett did a podcast with her. I think Everett did a podcast with her. If we go back to his archive, he did one with her. I can't believe that. That's like amazing.
I think he has did he say he had AC Mack lined up?
Yeah, he's got a lot of people that are. He's got some good ones. I'm pushing him to get. He likes the talent that's out there. It's really a lot.
I highly recommend getting the IWTV.
Absolutely.
Fan. Some of the production isn't great on some of the stuff. I'm going to tell you that right.
No.
But the wrestling is there. The wrestling is still, it's there. So
did you see? Did you catch that mystery wrestler yet? The Masked Wrestler series.
I haven't watched. I've seen it on there. I've not.
Check it out. It's pretty cool. You'll be like, this is cool. It's behind the mask. Who is it? What indie star is it? It's pretty cool.
They got so much stuff on there.
I know.
They've got their original programming. They have like a day in the life stuff that they have on there, and
old Combat Zone, old IWA Mid-South stuff still out there.
Oh, and they have their own. IWTV has their own events and stuff on there and stuff.
It's a shame, man. I saw that post that came out. IWA, they're trying to run again, and it's always something else. You know that. Always something with the Ian, he can never.
I've heard so many.
I know, man.
Rotten stories over the years.
Yes.
I personally have not had any dealings with them. I know several people have. And I know damn near every time he says this is going to be the last show, you can about bet it's not going to be the last
He sent me a DM. Do you want to be a sponsor? I said, I didn't. I ignored it. That's not desperate. Seriously. And the same spiel. I'll throw you some DVDs, and you know how he is. You know how that is. I said
they had a lot of eyes on him back in the day, and that's what helped launch a lot of these guys, because they did the DVDs and the VHS tapes. That was the thing back in the day, trading VHS tapes of all these different promotions. Yeah.
Or promos. Doing your promos.
You didn't have access like you do now. Hell, the shit wasn't even on YouTube back then,
No, or audio video, right? Audio file or something. We didn't have we had MP3 player, right? Or something. iTunes and a little iCloud or MP3 pod, iPod or whatever the hell that was at the time. Technology to get wrestling out there was something, but there was ways to get it.
It helps and it hurts at the same time, because then you got the dirt sheets and you can find out all the stuff before it actually
then you get the people that tell you, hey, your friends, and I'm like, oh, come on, I don't need to hear this. I don't want to hear the spoiler. Don't spoil something for me. Don't spoil it. You want me to hear something? I'll watch it.
Yeah, and all the backstage stuff. Like, I don't care about I never, even as a fan, I didn't care about the backstage stuff.
No, there's so much stuff goes on. It's so much these days. It's just get together, do your job, and go out there and perform.
I just want to watch the show. Entertain me. I don't care how. I that's what that show that's on Stars Heels.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty
stuff on it to get right. There's a lot of stuff that that's not how it is, but I'm all right with it, because not everybody needs to know what's in the secret sauce. You know what I'm saying?
No, and shout out to Nick Nick Bondo for being a part of that. There you go. He's really part of that movie as well. That's really cool though. He's always into something, man. He's still around, just showing that he can still be somebody, and do stuff that he does. It's insane. Just think about him. His career was a deathmatch wrestler, and just, he's a legend. We inducted him into our Hall of Fame for Game Changer Wrestling just last year. It was really cool.
See, that's what you're more into, the death matches and the hardcore stuff, aren't you?
I'm not. I'm not though. I like my independent wrestling. I like going to. I like my Ring of Honor to the the local, like my local Titan Championship Wrestling or the
Yeah.
H2O. You know, I get it's just a way to get out and watch wrestling, and you know.
Yeah. And I got nothing. Like the deathmatch stuff isn't really so much my cup of tea. But I
don't travel as much as I used to. I mean, I like to travel. There's so much, well, COVID and all that stuff, but I'm just like, I'm gonna wait till like 2020, that 23, and just start, you know, or 24 and start going again. Because I traveled, like I did travel to IWA Mid-South a couple times, you know. But there's some places I want to go, like Texas. I would like to go to Texas. There's some great wrestling in Texas. Mission Pro Wrestling by putting that together. You still there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, that was I don't know what the hell happened. You saw that? Like
Yeah.
The screen just went in the cycle. But yeah, Thunder Rosa with that, you know, she's doing with her students, and her wrestling promotion is really good.
And that's it. And then you got, you know, Dustin Rhodes got his academy out there, and they do the
You got the dust.
Stuff.
You got Booker T. You got Booker T.
The reality of wrestling. I watched some of that on Fight TV. That Bianca, what's her name from WWE? The first time I saw her was on Booker T's promotion. There's so much good stuff out there. So much good stuff. But I want to get back to like deathmatch wrestling. That's really not my thing. But I hate when people try to say, well, this isn't wrestling and that isn't wrestling, and it's all wrestling. Just because you don't like it, there's room for everything.
There is
every type of wrestling. I believe that. I mean, there's the comedy wrestling.
It's an, as they always say, it's an art form. It's an art.
Yeah,
you know, wrestling wrestling can paint a canvas. You can paint a canvas with blood. You can paint it with strong style wrestling, you know, lucha, the works, you know. There's so many good lucha. There's so many independent lucha stars, like they blow my mind. Like there's some people like they need to be signed on AEW. Like there's a guy named Gringo Loco out of Chicago. Really could be like the best lucha representative of a. But actually, shout out to him. He actually is going to be doing like a thing for WrestleMania weekend for Game Changer Wrestling as they present it. He's going to have like a lucha collective show, which is pretty cool to show off lucha action.
I know Cody Jones. We work with Cody Jones in Lima. He's from Chicago. He does a lot of the lucha stuff, and so does Mojo McQueen. He's out of Chicago area. He's been doing a lot of more lucha shows. There's a lot more lucha promotions in the States popping up here within the past few years.
Yeah,
it's really catching on here.
And one promotion actually in Game Changer also has been there with Texas. Loco Wrestling. Loco is where like you see Sammy Guevara, Fuego, and everybody else, but their local talent. Ninja Mac is a phenomenal. Dante Leone, like these guys are just Mystery Q, you know. Alley Catch, she's from, you know, Alley Catch is a female, and she's a friend from Texas area as well. No,
that's Paloma. We also work with Paloma Star, and she was down in Texas. Cody probably was too, if I remember right. But Paloma, I know for sure because she's posted pictures and stuff from back when she was in Texas. She's in Chicago now too. But yeah, like I said, don't get on somebody and say, you know, well, that ain't wrestling. There's room
for any kind. Yeah,
hardcore wrestling. I said hardcore wrestling, the comedy wrestling. If I understand if it's not your thing, that, you know, the Ring of Honor style wrestling, the high spot wrestling, strong style. But to me, if you want to have a perfect promotion, you've got a little bit of everything, which I think a lot of them must stray away from. They're like, this is what we are, and we're just this, which is, you know, then you've just got this group of fans, and that's all you have. I mean, you got to have a little bit. If you have a little bit of everything, then you're going to get a little bit of everybody.
Yeah, it's like a bowl of ice cream, like every flavor that's out there, you're gonna just get a different scoop,
Which I think more promotions need to start doing that. You should have a comedy match on your show. You should have a match that has the cruiserweights doing all the.
Do you remember the one comedy promotion? It was called Kachara.
Yeah,
Kachara was fantastic with Mike Quackenbush. Oh my God. Like just the way that they had
the whole ant colony. I mean,
Chris Hero to like Sweet and Sour Larry Sweeney to Eddie Kingston also would be there every once in a while.
Yeah, it was used here in Ohio. There was one. It didn't last very long, but it was called Bizarro Wrestling.
I remember that. Yeah,
and that's kind of like what it was. It was very much like Chikara Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Also here in Ohio, we have it's called Old Time Wrestling.
Yes,
Shane runs it. I mean,
yeah, Ricky Shane Page.
That's
Ricky RSP. Ricky Shane Page has been a part of that. I remember.
Yes,
he was the guy
to Jock Sampson and Jeremy or Gregory Irons. Gregory Irons has been on it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. Well, I think the one I watched even. What's his name? Chuck.
Chucky T. Best Friend. Yep, Chucky T. Chuck Taylor.
Yeah, he's on there.
I know.
Doing the whole old gimmick. That's just it. That's Mad Dog Matt Cross. Matt Cross.
Mm-hmm.
It's a niche. It's
different. It's old school. It's the way that wrestling should be presented.
It's like the old Carney days.
Yes.
And that's how they do it. They do everything like it's in the 40s or however far back it was. Probably,
and also a big shout out to the LGB community doing it now. Big shout out to like all the gay wrestling companies. There's a lot out there. There's so many cool promotions. Mr. Effie, shout out to Effie. He's like the biggest provider of like doing shows, crazy but fun. For the fans, it's great. It's just anybody.
I can't remember what promotion it was, but there's one promotion that they run regularly, but one show they do like one show a month where that's all the spotlight is on that.
I think it's probably the Collective. What I'm talking about. They all get together with different promotions across the world, and then they throw the gay. They have the black culture part, the black, heritage as well, part of the show. There's so much. It's awesome to see all that to get everybody branch out together and support each other.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's so much out there. You should be able to find something that you like.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be a wrestling snob and tell somebody what they like's wrong.
No,
don't
like if I came if I flew out to a show to watch FGW, I'd be like, wow, what is this? Hi, this is really cool. I mean, really, people won't be like, hey, you know what you're missing, a fun time, good wrestling matches that you want to tell stories to your kids, just the generation to come, kids love wrestling.
It just reminds me, FGW reminds me of the stuff.
And you know what?
When I was a kid watching on TBS.
And Ripper.
Like old school studio wrestling.
And Ripper, you know what? Do I even tell my nieces and nephews? They'll never learn. I'm not going to tell them. I'm not going to tell them about this stuff. Deathmatch wrestling. Never going to show them little artifacts or anything that I have, Maybe that's the best, but I will take them to a show one of these days. My nephews to go see, because they're always up in their part of the woods, for a show.
I remember. All right, so my son was aware of ECW when he was little, but I didn't watch ECW when he was little. So finally, he gets about 8th grade or so. All right, I let him start watching it. Then I want to say shortly after Network come out, I bought it. He had a bunch of his friends stay over. He's in high school now, and the one kid,
I actually I worked in the dollar store. I think you probably heard that over and over my story. I worked in the dollar store, and the guy came in with Balls Mahoney. Isn't that great?
But I let Logan watch it. And the one kid that always come, like my son and his friends used to come to shows and work the gimmick tables for all the guys.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting to watch the show for free, but they're also selling the guy stuff, and then they would set up and they would tear down and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But so the one kid, he would come to those, and that's the only wrestling he would ever watch. Well, Logan had all these guys spend the night, and they started watching ECW.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the point where the Dudley Boys set the table on fire. And this kid, all he could do would go, "What?"
Yeah.
And then every time they would do something crazy, that
Right.
was the response that he would give. What?
Yeah, that's great.
You were talking about meeting people. Okay, he's working in a dollar store, and Balls Mahoney comes in, right?
Yeah.
1 year, was it the Great American Bash? Either Great American Bash. Yeah, I think it was Great American Bash. Was in Dayton, Ohio at the Hare Arena on Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So I took my dad, me and my best friend took my dad for Father's Day to it.
Mm-hmm.
The show's over. We stopped Burger King around the corner. Or McDonald's or one of those two places, one of the fast food places.
I ran into McFoley at McDonald's one time.
I ran into Eric Bischoff was ahead of me in line.
Mm-hmm. Oh man!
I was like,
oh shit!
Really enjoyed the show, sir.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
And this was when he was he wasn't even doing the NWO stuff yet. This was when the Giant was in the crowd taunting Hogan, and Bischoff was just a commentator and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the first person that I met outside of before I got in wrestling that I actually met.
Mm-hmm.
My brother met Goldberg. Goldberg was at the Lima Mall. He went to that whole signing. I think
there's so much. Yeah, there's so many people we've met over the years. It's unbelievable. It's like celebrities almost. It's like I've ran into celebrities so many times. It's not even funny.
Oh yeah, like back in the days of MySpace.
What MySpace? What is that? Oh yeah, that was a way to promote wrestling. Also, that was horrible.
So Buff Bagwell. I'm on some shows with Buff Bagwell, and back then you got to pick your top 10 of you had your list of friends and then the top 10.
Oh my god! Dusty
Dillinger gets a hold of me. He's like, "Hey, have you been to Buff's MySpace page?" I'm like, "Not in a while." Why? He goes, "Me and you made the top 10, buddy. Me and you's on his top 10."
Oh man. He just actually put a post out there recently on Twitter saying that he wants a death match, but in 2022, Marcus. But like, come on, really? And guess who responded? Alex Colon. Let's see if it happens.
I remember Alex.
Yes, he's on a friend. Shout out to him. He's on a podcast. He was on a podcast earlier with one of my friends. Just. For this one.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Alex from the Rockstar when Rockstar was.
Yes, Rockstar was the Rockstar. Oh my god, that place was. I wish that was. They're still around, I believe.
They opened back up. They opened up and then they closed back down again.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where I remember him from. Also, I think he did a show up in Lima with us one time. When him and Dustin Reyes were the Night Riders. They were in a
with Aaron Williams, probably.
Aaron Williams and Dustin Reyes.
Shout out to Aaron. Shout out to Aaron. He's one of those guys that needs to be seen more and more.
Oh, yeah. He's the world champion right now. That's the world champion right now is Aaron Williams, and he's him and Apollo Star
Mm-hmm.
next Saturday there in Lima. I'm telling you what,
He's great. He is great.
Oh,
I like how he tells his stories. I love. He's just. I've been up so many times at Combat Zone Wrestling back in the day. You know, like
and
not back
Paul-
in back. I was young. I didn't go to the early Boxley days. I wish I did, but yeah.
yeah, I remember Aaron starting off in HWA.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Moxley first starting out.
Yeah.
Let's see, we had Tyler Black, aka Seth Rollins.
Yes, I saw him.
He came with Danny Daniels, and he had a couple of matches on.
Saw him at a little hole in the wall up in New Jersey somewhere, and it was like a painted bowling alley. It was like a dark with Necro Butcher, and it was just great to see wrestlers in that building. You know, Davey Richards. It was just great to see talent.
Indie wrestling will go anywhere. Like I was in a show in Indiana where the place was obvious. It was like in one of the little shopping plazas.
Yeah.
Right. This was obviously like some kind of pharmacy at some point, like a mini CVS or something in here, and now it was a wrestling promotions building. There was a place in and I think they might still use it. The Ponderosa. It used to be a Ponderosa. LSC, Legends and Squared Circle, used it, and then when HWA was still running there, the last incarnation of it, it was running in that same building, and it was a Ponderosa. And I went there, and AJ Styles was doing a seminar, and there, two of the spots had low ceiling, so he's climbing up. He goes, "Well, I won't be doing anything out of this corner today." So it's indie wrestling.
I'll tell you what, it's like me when I went to Chicago for the very first time when Game Changer did their very first show. I was a part of the crew also, you know, and we did a freelance wrestling show, and then we went to another place and we did like our deathmatch show. It was just the gala, they call it. And it was like a flea market, like an empty building.
Oh yeah, I've been to flea markets too. I've been to flea markets.
Yes.
UW halls. I've been to high schools and middle schools and
VFWs and
warehouses.
Yes, yeah. But just the setting, yeah. But to this day, and I'll never forget just to see. And God rest his soul, you know, rest in peace, Marcus Crane. I got to see him jump off the top into a door onto Nick Gage. You know, like that was the first time really seeing him come out. Also, you know, as well as a wrestler from the Chicago area. You know, independent wrestler as well. You know, before we lost him.
Yeah, I tell you what, the Midwest here lately, we're getting more recognized. We're getting a lot more people getting shots and stuff. Look at Impact. Like, there's a ton of Michigan guys.
I don't even watch Impact anymore. I don't even know what Impact is. I don't care for it. It's like WB. Do I watch it? No. Like, I watch AEW, and I just catch
AEW is about the only one I watch. Like, if I remember about Impact, I'll switch over to it just because, like, Jake Something's on Impact. I managed Jake Something for like 2-3 years, something like that, in Lima. So I'm always.
I can go back to the old TNT days. You know, come on, TNA days. Like
how old TNA though? How much are we talking?
Like AJ to Jerry Lynn's first matches, and like
so you're talking like the Asylum when they was on pay-per-view every week for $10.
Yes, and I would record it every week, and it's still my drawer. Their VHS is still my drawer.
Those were actually good shows. Those
I know. Yeah, Amazing Bread, you know, like guys like that were just breaking out. And then it came up to the 5-sided ring or the 6-sided ring. It was like, okay, this is a different concept for wrestling, you know. Let's see what we could do with this style ring. And then we had the X Division. That was pretty cool. That was a cool concept. That really, you know, and it still is, you know, to climb a rope and grab the belt.
I remember, who was it in the X Division? Chris Saban. So Chris Saban's on the show in Lima,
Mhm.
and then later that week he wins the X Division title.
Yeah.
And just like when that AJ Styles show was on, we had him on. I co-host a podcast with Michael McCormick called Tales from the Indies.
Mhm.
We're not very regular. Like we'll do a whole bunch of them, and then we're gone for several months at a time because his shoot job is he's a sports broadcaster. He broadcasts. He does high school and college and semi-pro sports. I mean, all kinds of sports. He was doing. Are
you ready for Sunday's night's football game? I'm not really caring for it. I don't know. Go Rams.
This is how I am.
Yeah, I don't care.
I'm a Steelers fan.
Yeah, I'm an Eagles fan. So it's like
I hate the Bengals. And everybody's like, "Well, you're gonna watch anyone?" I haven't watched the past 2 or 3 Super Bowls because now I'm to the point where if it isn't my team, I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Are the Steelers playing? No, I don't care.
No, you want to join my pool? No, I don't want to join your gambling pool. You're gonna lose anyway.
So no, I hope I have no feelings for the Rams one way or the other, and the Bengals.
Yeah.
I hate the Bengals, so I will never root for the Bengals.
Yeah, see, look how we had to talk about sports there, so you had to talk about nobody talked about it really. I was like, all right, let me just talk about it, plug it in there, even though we hate them all. But I like the Eagles. I'm an Eagles fan. You gotta yell at me. I'm a Broncos fan. That's it, my 2 teams. That's
See, I'm one team. I only have one team. I don't have no second favorite team. I don't play fantasy football because then you're rooting for players that you should hate.
Do you like baseball? Do you like baseball?
See, we used to go to Reds games in the summertime. My dad worked for Honda, and he would have shutdowns in July, and we would always go down Cincinnati and catch a Reds game. But once they went on strike back there in the 90s, like we really never got back to doing that.
I usually go to my local when my dad has his military weekend for the VFW, the appreciation for military. The affiliate, the affiliate to the Philly Eagle, the Philadelphia, the Philadelphia. The Fly. Not the Fly. Phillies. Yes, the Phillies. Duh. My brain is like going. Yeah, but
it was Clippers in Columbus who
but I'll never forget the one night they actually had. We had 2. I'll tell you, we had TNA Impact came one year. it never again.
Oh, that's when they were doing the
the little road. But then I got lucky one year for one of my Game Changers shows was doing like a summertime concert series, big shows in the park and wrestling going on. And my dad and I got tickets to go see Alice Cooper. I was like, wow, this is awesome. In the rain. To top it off, I was playing video guy with the Facebook phone live going around the ringside for the wrestling show too. It was pretty cool. I was like the special person for like $40. I got tickets for the front, for the concert. I was like, can't beat that.
For Alice Cooper, hell no, we can't beat that.
Oh my God. And my dad's never seen him. We never been to we always hear the music, but just he was blown away. He was blown away. The props and the way that just crazy. It was good. That's cool.
You was probably marking out because he was at WrestleMania.
Yeah, probably when he was. Yeah, or Piper or somebody. I don't know. But anyway, I'm getting tired. I gotta get up for work tomorrow.
You get up at 5 a.m. and work my shoot job.
I'm at 5:30.
Yeah, I get up at 5. I got to work my shoot job for 8 hours.
Yes.
Then drive 2 hours to Hamilton, Ohio, for the FGW show. Do the FGW
I'm a sanitation metal man by day. Okay, I'm a metal truck laborer.
Yeah.
I got it. Yes, good gig. Good gig.
I work for a Honda supplier.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we hear that. Oh, but yeah, no, man, you got it's busy. It's Friday though. The weekend's here. The weekend's here, and wrestling. Catch up on my wrestling,
Yes. And if there's any indie wrestling happening near you,
go watch it.
Go support indie wrestling. Be a good wrestling fan.
I know. Not just sit in front of the TV and be like yelling at WWE Mark. Oh, hey, I'm still Mark. I can mark it. mark it. But no, I'm just looking forward. Actually, this weekend is a celebration of my friend. Well, I'll announce it after my friend's 25th year in the business. So
that's good.
Monsters Among Men. I'll plug it right now. Monsters Among Men for Steve Monster Mac, one of the heavy hitters, an original from the Ring of Honor days, Jersey All Pro days. The heavy hitters, him and his partner, Steve. Dan Moff. Oof. The Hit Squad, really just doing their own things these days. But we're gonna have a big throwback show for him, and some great matches, and a tag team title match. And I'm excited for that as the team takeover takes on the other guys, Chris Bradley and Ross, two guys from the H2O building that made an impact at Titan Championship Wrestling. And the ladies' matches, of course. Looking forward to we have the Gladiator. We have the Gladiator, Riley Shepard, and we have a newcomer, JC Storm, making her debut. Looking forward to that. That's be a bagger of a match for the title. Ooh. The title is up.
You're at?
Yeah. It's actually a building that I grew up. I went to a lot of shows in the mid-90s, and but now it's a baseball training center now. Yeah. They had. I'll talk about that another time. How's that? Ooh.
We can do a whole show just about weird ass buildings that happen in.
Absolutely. We could name a whole bunch. We could name, yes. We'll do that sometime. We'll do that. We'll get Everett involved with that. He could probably tell some stories too. All right. So Everett. Sure. Yeah. But Ripper, I want to say thank you so much for coming on, and we're going to do this again. Absolutely, for sure. You know that.
Anytime. Just hit me up, brother.
And everybody just check him out on his social media and check out where he's going to be. Oh, just plug where you're going to be this week. Yeah,
I'm going to be in Ohio, 190 North Brookwood Avenue at the FGW Arena for Origins 4 next weekend at the Empowered Sports Center in Lima, Ohio for War Wrestling Blood In, Blood Out. And I'll be at the Arnold Classic in Columbus that whole entire weekend for New Ohio Wrestling. Other than that, other places support. I work behind the scenes at OCW, which is Ohio Championship Wrestling in Akron, Ohio. So if you get a chance, check these places out. They have Facebook pages, YouTube channels, websites, all that stuff. You want to see some good wrestling coming out of Ohio? Shockwave FGW, YouTube, every Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. War Wrestling has YouTube channel, goes live. There'll probably a live stream. We've been live streaming the events when they happen on the YouTube channel. That's next Saturday at 7 o'clock. And OCW, they also do live streaming on Facebook, their events, and have the Overdrive show that they do that you can find on Facebook. And
That's it.
That's
I have a podcast tomorrow night with my guest at 8 p.m. Brandon Wolfie. I'm looking forward to talking to him and see what he's about. And then my Titan of Wrestling event on Saturday. And then Sunday, I'm going to go celebrate my birthday because it'll be Monday. My birthday is Monday. I'll be 45 years old. I'm off that day as well. I took a day off for my birthday. Got to do that.
I do the same thing every year.
Yes.
Not for your birthday, though, for mine.
No. So, yes. So I just took, I'm just going to take a couple days of maybe no week podcast or catch up on watching TV wrestling. Watch my IWTV as well.
There you go.
And that's it. Ripper Blackheart, I want to say thank you again for coming on. And fans, check them out. Go see him at a show. Say hello. Give him hell. He'll help. As a manager, that he does a good job. And I love when I see him on videos. And I'm never at an event. But one of these days, I will be. And you'll never know. Like I always say to all these promotions, I'm going to go. I'm going to go. You're going to go. Be there. Have a good night. Thank you.
You too. Thanks.
All right, fans, you heard it here on the Deathmatch Russell podcast. The manager of champions, the evil one, Ripper Blackheart. Go out and see where he's going to be. Right down here, he's going to be at a lot of these shows. FGW, Ohio, this and that. He's going to be everywhere. Get a chance. Go say hello. See him manage his champions, his wrestling tag teams, and much more. And as I said before, what a great time talking to him. One of those guys that you need to say hello to at a show and hang out. He's one of my friends, and I'm glad to be a part of his life of wrestling. And we all love wrestling, so support it. Like we say, get out to a show and see one. And like I said, 8:00 tomorrow night, my guest, pro wrestler Brandon Wolfie, will be on the podcast at 8 p.m. Good night, everybody. Until then, support professional wrestling, support indie wrestling, support the works. Good night, everybody.
You can find more Deathmatch Russell podcasts on the following social media: DeathmatchRussell.com, follow on Twitter at DavidNJ32, and on Facebook, Facebook.com/DJDaveNJ32. Instagram at DavidNJ36. Hey, wrestling fans, I want to mention Collar and Elbow. Collar and Elbow was founded on traditional values of professional wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product intended to connect with people on an emotional level. A symbiotic relationship where one cannot flourish without the other. We strive to create a product that embodies our passion for professional wrestling expressed through street fashion. Visit collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code DeathmatchRussellPodcast and save 10% off when you make a purchase. Collar and Elbow, where wrestling passion meets street fashion. Me on Podcast City Network at podcastcity.net, facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit the like button and share. And on Twitter at Podcast City Net. Also on Johnner's Wrestling Podcast Network, www.wrestlingwithjohners.com. You can hear Deathmatch Russell Podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes.